Justin, when the Kyrie Irving trade request broke out, you were one of the main people I saw that was saying Dallas is the clear suitor here. They have the need, they have the assets, and at a time like this, 4 days before the trade deadline, they surely were desperate. So I want to start off with you. What are the Mavericks getting in Kyrie Irving? And did they make the right move here, taking a big time shot on a guy in Kyrie who has now left 3 separate contenders in 7 seasons?
This is as clear as day a high risk, high reward kind of move. You bring in a guy like Kyrie, and I think we all can agree that Dallas needed that second star. They needed that guy. Christian Wood wasn't, while he's a complementary piece to what Luka does on the floor, you still needed that star.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyrie is that guy. And I understand. I remember I shot you guys a text and I had said the Mavs. And Brandon was first off to say 2 players that need the ball in their hand. It can't work. But you know what? They're professionals. They have to make it work. I'm not looking at this move as this is a bad move for Brooklyn. This is a bad move for Dallas. No, I think this is a win-win for both franchises. For the Nets, you finally get rid of this 4-year headache that you've been dealing with, and now you get to move on to hopefully greener pastures. And then Dallas, now you put yourself in the position to make a finals run. If Kyrie is all in, I'm telling you, this Dallas team will be absolutely dangerous. Once him and Luka learn how to mesh and play on the court together, guys, this is a movie that we'll be watching in Dallas. And I know each and every one of you guys are going to be tuned into that game. When do they play? Is it Tuesday?
Monday. Oh wait,
Today is Monday.
Wednesday. Oh yeah,
Kyrie's
Wednesday
debut
night.
is on
Wednesday
Wednesday.
night.
On
Okay,
Wednesday.
okay.
I know damn well you guys are going to be tuned in on your TVs, not looking at anything else but to watch Kyrie and Luka take the floor together.
It's not. I wouldn't be watching it for the fact that they're gonna. I'm watching it, but it's not because like I'm gonna think this is gonna be something crazy that I haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I'm watching to see how bad that defense is gonna be and if their offense can hold up with that bad of a defense. Because you lost your only wing defender. You lost your only wing defender. Yeah, you upgraded from Spencer Dinwiddie, and at some point you're gonna have to trade Dorian Finney-Smith to get a star because you didn't have the assets to like trade for one anyway, and you have no cap space. So either way, that was gonna have to happen. But like at the same time. You need some like either Josh Green develops really fast and he moves into that position or something. But right, what's their starting lineup? Kyrie, Luka, Tim Hardaway Jr.,
I would say
Christian
Reggie
Wood,
Bullock.
that's even worse.
Well, they're also bringing back Maxi Kleba, who's coming off his torn hamstring. I didn't even mention the details of this trade. The Mavericks are giving up Dorian Finney-Smith, who recently extended in his age 29 season, Spencer Dinwiddie at the same age, and a first-round pick in 2029, as far out as possible if Luka does leave, and then 2 second-round picks.
2 second rounds, and then the Mavericks are getting Kyrie Irving and the forgotten piece Markieff Morris.
Hey,
Who's only in to match the roster spots.
Ever since Jokic, I never sleep on second-round picks anymore. You don't know which one of them can somehow just, for some reason, be not even that good, just be great.
Isn't it crazy though that we're talking about those picks 2029? What would they be right now? They'd be a 6th grader we're talking about right now, right? Maybe a 7th, 8th grader. Yeah. They're trading for a sixth grader currently right now, which is pretty cool to think about.
Or they could be trading for a 10th grader if it's going to be a 4-year college starter opposed to a one and done. And also on this move, I'd like to add before we continue that the Mavericks, a team that at first a year ago was looking to not go too deep into the luxury tax, they're adding a lot to their tax bill. Whereas the Nets and Joseph Tsai, they're taking off about $35 million total in tax and payroll savings. So they're saving some money with this move as well. BC, hit us with it real quick, and then we're going to go to FLB. I should have started with you, Romain. But, Brandon, you aren't the highest in Kyrie Irving. What do you think about this move? Who won, and how big does this affect the Western Conference landscape?
Well, first off, I agree with Justin in terms it's a win-win. On the net side, it's a win because you get rid of a piece that was going to walk in the offseason no matter what. And on the other side, like I said, when me and you, John, were talking on Sunday, I said it's an addition by subtraction. You get rid of a guy because he's been such a headache and honestly, availability is a big thing with me, and he's not been available that much, and reliability is a big thing too. He's not been very reliable. So
Him and KD's played 79 games in 3 years together.
Yeah, that's not even a full season. That's not even a full season. So in terms of the Nets, I like the move. I've hearing some rumblings that possibly Dinwiddie could also be moved instantly. But in terms of
Bad
the
idea.
Mavericks, yeah, in terms of the Mavericks, I mean, obviously it's a good move. I agree with the most of the points you guys were making about it. Obviously, it enhances their chances. But if we're going, we're looking at it in terms of a finished product when we think about it like that, right? If we're going to think about it as a finished product too, then we got to compare them to the other finished products in the Western Conference. I'm taking the Clippers at full strength over this team. I'm taking the Denver Nuggets at full strength over this team. Memphis, they're a dog team. You really don't want to see them. So, and Golden State in the playoffs, I give them a chance to beat anybody in a 7-game series. I really don't care. The track record speaks for itself.
Shaking your head.
But
the Clippers at full strength.
On God, the Clippers
limped
are
to victory
against
against the Knicks and are limping right now against the Nets.
Also, yeah, the Clippers are full strength. What does that look like at this point? Like, let's be real here. Like, yes, Kawhi's looked, he's looked basically either the same since when he came back, but PG, you see the decline slowly in PG. They've been trying to find that point guard for years now, still can't get it. Like,
but
John Wall was
I did preface my comments by saying at full strength and at full full strength. And we're looking at Dallas too. They're not at full strength either. You don't know. Kyrie can go down. He's injury prone. He's been injury prone. We seem to forget this. He's been injury prone his entire career.
I don't think we forget.
Well, I don't hear a lot of people bring it up a lot.
I don't think the Clippers is anywhere near their biggest competition.
In your terms, yes, maybe not, but in my eyes, the Clippers are the best team in the West at full strength to me. I picked them preseason picks to win the finals this year, and I believe that they're on track to do that. If they make a splash move and they get Fred VanVleet, look out, because they're even going to be even more superior, because that VanVleet from Reggie Jackson to VanVleet or John Wall to VanVleet, massive upgrade. So if then they're going to make a move. I don't know if it will be VanVleet. Maybe it's just a Mike Conley, which is a slight upgrade, but not really anything you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm not going to hella praise it. But if they get VanVleet, you best believe I'm going to be riding that wagon even harder. But back to Dallas. I did text.
But the thing with the Clippers, though, is that.
What, do you want to talk about the Clippers one?
Oh, and I was just saying with the Clippers, it was like, I don't know what pieces they're going to move. What do you have at this point? Is it Luke Kennard?
Well, John Wall, I'm not, we're obviously we're not in the front office. I'm not, I would imagine, I know that Steve Ballmer is a buyer guy. He likes to sell. He'll plunge. He'll plunge. He's done it before, and we've seen him done it, and he'll probably do it again. So I wouldn't be surprised if he is able to maximize a trade. But
absolutely.
But back to Dallas. I did text Justin right away when he said Mavs, and I said, yes, 2 ball dominant players, but I also said 2 guys that really don't do much off the ball. And while John did say, and I will agree with him, Luka has become a more serviceable defender, but when push comes to shove, I'm not trusting him or anything on the defensive side of the ball. And we know Kyrie, he can, when he tries really hard, he can do some work on the defensive end, but it's just the size that just overmatches him. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I think it makes them a better team, but I got to see it to believe it, man. I got to see it to believe it.
Fair point. Did lose Romain?
I don't have to see. I don't have to see it to believe it. I already know where this is gonna go. At most it's a second round exit. I'm not gonna lie. At this point, this season is just to see how well they mesh together. I know that. Just to see how well Kyrie and Luka mesh together, and if it goes well, you give him his 3 year, not 4. Do not give him 4 years on that contract. 3 years with a team option at the end of that, if he's willing to accept. I don't know if there's any other team that's willing to throw him a bag bigger than that, other than like the Lakers if they're stupid, which they've proven they are a couple times already. But right now, that team is just not going to go anywhere outside the second round. Denver at full strength, where they've been already, eclipses almost every single team in that Western Conference. It's not even funny. The Grizzlies take themselves out of games at times. They like to make enemies and then fire teams up and then let those teams wreck them. They were this good last year. You almost lost to the playing Timberwolves. There's a reason. if I gotta clock in like playoff frauds each year, I'm not gonna lie, the Grizzlies gotta always be one of them. And at full strength, I'm taking the Pelicans over this Dallas team too. At full strength.
Wow, are you serious? With Zion's health question,
Zion,
he's saying
protection.
John, he's saying full strength. Full strength. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, he's prefacing.
But you know what the thing is? We keep on saying full strength, but that's not realistic.
Nobody is.
But it's not that realistic. But that's what we're doing. Yeah, Justin, we're playing the hypothetical game here. That's what we're doing. We're having
we're the real life game, Brandon. What do you say?
What happened?
Yeah, we're playing we have to play the hypothetical. We have to play the hypothetical game because Kyrie is likely going to miss at least a full series.
What if he takes a week off of work and doesn't tell anybody?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Easy. Let's hold on for that for a moment. Okay. So the Pelicans have a lot of deficiencies. They have no rim protection, not a whole lot of shooting, and they don't have a reliable point of attack defender. Neither do the Mavericks. And I think you guys are all pretending here that the Mavericks are just done making moves. And they don't have 2 first-round picks left over to go out and try to get an OG Anunoby and submitting themselves in those sweepstakes. And I'm telling you, if the Mavericks get OG Anunoby, they're just as good as Denver in my eyes.
They don't, but they already traded their 2 best pieces. Unless Toronto wants Christian freaking Wood for OG Anunoby, they're not getting OG. They have probably one of the lower packages for him.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, I'd see us getting OG before them.
Well, it's not taking that far, fam.
Because the Heat don't even have shit for that either.
And even if they can't get OG, there are going to be some, quite frankly, cost-effective options out there like Matisse Thybulle from Philadelphia. When you have an offensive dynamo this dynamic, oh, look at me here. When you have an offensive dynamo at the level of Luka Doncic, he's a top 3 or 4 player in the game. He gives you a chance. We've seen him all by himself in a playoff series go toe-to-toe against Kawhi and Paul George. Last year, he took this team to the conference finals. And it's funny, 3 of the 4 top 5 guys, or 3 of the 4 guys from that team are all gone now. And Jalen Brunson, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Dorian Finney-Smith. But offensively, there are few teams that can actually match the firepower of Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, Christian Wood, Reggie Bullock's buying up, and then one other different bigs at the 5. Dallas does have a pretty big deficiency now, and that's a lead point of attack defender. When Reggie Bullock's not making shots, they're going to have to rely exclusively on Josh Green, who's developed this year, and he's a good 3-and-D wing, but he's not quite at the level where you're going to rely on him in the playoff crucible. He barely played last year in the playoffs. I don't remember him playing that much. And then the other thing the Mavericks really could use is a third ball handler. They have Jaden Hardy, who as a rookie has shown some scoring flash, but we all know for a kid that's 19, can't really pass too well and has a lot of work to do as, you know, a ball mover playing within the flow of the offense. You can't really play Hardy and Kyrie together. So there are some deficiencies in Dallas, but I don't want to pretend like this team has no chance in the postseason because their closing lineup of those 4 guys I mentioned before, and then Maxi Kleber, who's come off this torn hamstring at almost record time. It's usually a season-ending injury. The guy's back in a couple of months soon. And I think with that lineup, they can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the Western Conference because they have one of the best duos and top 5 player in the game.
Why are you feeling like you're being a little too positive here? Maxi Kleber coming back from the injury past could be a bad thing, not a good thing. At the same time, you're looking at Dallas. I don't think they need a third ball handler right now. Somebody as high as good and with high usage as Luka, and now you have Kyrie. That's, you know, a tier below, but still one of the best ball handlers, one of the better playmakers, and probably one of the most pound for pound, most skill scorer probably to play this game, pound for pound at least. So. I don't think you want another ball handler on this team to take the ball out of those 2's hands even more at this point. And if you're going to have those 2 as ball handlers, then you're going to need to surround them with 3-and-D wings. And you need to surround them with at least some either a stretch big or a stable rim protector. Right now, to get all of those things to make this team a true contender, the amount of money, the amount of selling you're going to have to do, they just don't have those pieces. As of right now, if they're gonna sign Kyrie they're gonna have to make Kyrie understand and take even a little bit less of it, like a deal that Harden got this offseason, so they can spend a little bit more money to get something, or else they're just gonna be in the buyout market fishing for at least something close to this. Hell, they caught people one of the teams that throw something to get Jay Crowder and watch that flunk out. Like,
what if they go out and get Miles Turner at the center spot?
With the way he's playing this season, the Pacers asking for him is probably going to be way too high from what Dallas can provide. I'm pretty sure there's been a lot more offers for Miles that's better when that.
When he resigned,
the thing I'm looking with Dallas,
When he
Yeah,
when
the
he
thing I'm looking
resigned,
at,
I feel like he was off the trade market at that point.
Actually, no. When they extended him, that gave them the opportunity to then move him even more because he's got 2 years of
yeah,
team.
that upped his trade value. Yeah, that upped his
Well,
trade
no,
value.
and
But
I wasn't talking in trade value. I'm just talking in terms of what the Pacers are looking at. That I don't think that once they resigned him, that what they
Oh,
looked at, and I could be wrong that they didn't want to trade him anymore. I could be
yeah,
wrong.
good point. They want a good wing in return for him, and what wings do the Mavericks have to
yeah,
trade outside Josh
I
Green?
think they I think they want to trade him, but the offers they were getting was nothing with what they wanted for the future.
Mhm.
So they'd much rather just keep him for now, which is perfectly fine. But what I'm looking with Dallas in these trade scenarios is the fact that they don't have the pieces that other teams have to facilitate trades like this. Like, yes, they can go out and get piece if they get this piece and this piece, but it's what do they have to offer to even get those? They don't. They're not. If you pay Kyrie, you're not gonna have the money. You only have 2 draft picks right now. We see how the market is already, so those may not go too far.
Mm-hmm.
And who else? You have Jaden Hardy, who's barely played this year, so you don't know what his potential is. So his trade value is probably not too high. You don't want to trade Josh Green because that's your only competent win defender now. You trade Christian Wood. Now you lost the big man that you just had that was a good partner with Lucas. So you need to go find another one like that too. It just creates way too many problems for this team. Right now, this is gonna look offensively, this is gonna be a great team.
Mm-hmm.
But defensively, and the fact that other teams are just way more complete than this team is gonna be the thing that sets them over the edge. One, Luka's probably Luka and Jokic, in my eyes, the greatest players I've watched since like 2013 LeBron. Like the way they control the game is actually insane.
Mm-hmm.
So Luka can take it to a level in the playoffs where he could probably push him to a conference finals and they at least put up a fight, 6-7 game series. But that's high. That's the max I see for this team, and that's if Luka goes nuclear.